Good morning. My mom and I are here at the Zimmerman Lake Trailhead, and this is located inside the Roosevelt National Forest. And today we're going to go for the Diamond Peaks, and we're going to start off by going up to Montgomery Pass, and then we're going to hit the North Diamond Peak, the South Diamond Peak, take it on down to the Cameron Pass parking area, and then we're going to have to walk back down the road to where we're parked. Official start time, 7:45. Montgomery Pass Trail, 2 miles up to Montgomery Pass. And I think we're looking at about 1,000 vertical feet. We're hoping for a beautiful day today. This might be the last one before the snow. And we've been hiking up this thing for about 25 minutes or so. And when we started, it was freezing. I could not feel my fingertips. But now that the sun has risen, it got super warm out here. So we had to stop and take our jackets and gloves off. Yeah, this feels much better. And we're grinding our way up this Montgomery Pass Trail. Whew. I'd say we're close to halfway up this part. We've been hiking for 50 minutes, and we're just about up to 10,700, which means we've got 300 more vertical feet up to Montgomery Pass. And I think we still got about 0.6 of a mile left. We're entering the burn zone, and this is all damage from the Cameron Peak fire in 2020. So yeah, we've knocked out roughly 700 vertical feet. In total, this hike has a net elevation gain of just over 2,200. So we've done roughly a third of it so far. And we've almost made it out to that final open spot that goes up to the pass. And that's all drone zone right there. But that's going to be the last of the drone zone. Soon after that, we're going to cross into State Forest State Park, and we're not going to be able to fly the drone. So while we can, let's fly, baby. And I think I saw on Peak Finder where that thing is called the pimple or something nasty like that. I mean, what the hell is wrong with people to name something the pimple? What's back here? The cyst, the herpes, and the melanoma? All right, and in just under an hour and a half, we've made it up here to Montgomery Pass at 11,000 feet. And once again, I just have to point out how much I liked the old sign, the one that was like all nasty and wood and had barbed wire wrapped around it. Thing looked freaking metal. And then from Montgomery Pass, if you continue on to the north, that's going to take you up to the Bird Peaks, or the Bird Humps, which I have named. Yeah, that's where we went last year. That was pretty awesome. I'm pretty sure we went out to this bump right there, which is called Swallow. And then this is looking out to the west from Montgomery Pass. And I think those are going to be the Zirkles out there. Yeah, those are pretty far out. And then if you go to the south, here from Montgomery Pass, you're going to be getting these two humps. And that's where we're heading next. We're going to take it up and over.
Waking up, skipping breakfast, trying to get to the trailhead. And when I get there, I'm gonna put on my knee wraps and prepare to blow out my lungs. It's the eye of the hiker. It's the thrill of the walk. Rising up to the summit of the mountain. And when I get there, I'm gonna boil up some tea and stuff my face with a bag full of cheesy smiles. It's the eye of the hiker, it's the thrill of the walk, rising up to the summit of the mountain. Yeah, yeah, yeah. On the summit of the mountain, enjoying awesome views from the chill spot. Nothing can beat this. It's the eye of the hiker. It's the thrill of the walk. It's the eye of the hiker. It's the thrill of the walk. Rising up to the summit of the mountain. Yeah, yeah, yeah. On the summit of the mountain, enjoying awesome views from the chill spot. Nothing can beat this. It's the eye of the hiker. It's the thrill of the walk.
And we're going to continue on. And the rest of this hike is in the no drone zone, which is fine because my batteries are dead anyways. Yeah, it'd been so long since I've flown that thing that the batteries had died.
It's the eye of the hiker. It's the thrill of the walk. It's the eye of the hiker. It's the thrill of the walk. Walk the walk. Walk the walk. On the summit of the mountain, enjoying awesome views from the chill spot. Nothing can beat this. It's the eye of the hiker. It's the thrill of the walk.
Yeah, we're knocking this out. It's really not too bad. It's steep, but it's short. We're getting buzzed by a helicopter here. That was pretty cool. He just buzzed Montgomery Pass. And we've made it to the top of the first high point. And this is looking over to the North Diamond Peak. It's gonna be this one right here. So it looks like we've got 2 more down and ups to get over there. We're gonna continue on and keep going up and over these high points out here. Coming around the top here, and we're gonna get a good chunk of downhill now. I'm not complaining about that. And this is looking at the next part. We've got a small little up and over. And that's looking back at where we've come from. To the left is going to be Clark Peak, and to the right is Cameron Peak. And right down there at the base of Cameron Peak is where the fire started. And in 2.5 hours, we've made it up to this high point, just before North Diamond Peak. And this is what we've got left. We're going to take it up and over the North Diamond Peak on the right. We're going to drop it down to the saddle, and then take it back up to the South Diamond Peak. And then we're going to backtrack to the saddle, and then take it straight down to the Cameron Pass parking area. And we've been sitting up here on this high point for about 10 minutes or so, and I just ate all my snacks. But it's time to go. It's time to start heading on over to North Diamond Peak. And this is it, the final push up to North Diamond Peak. And right here from the saddle at just over 11.5, we've got a little over 300 more vertical feet up to the top of North Diamond Peak. And this thing is a leg blower outer. Man, this is easily the crux of the hike. Just getting up this slope. And that's looking back at where we've come from. Right over there is going to be Montgomery Pass. Almost up there. We're almost up there. We're so close I can taste it. Getting that summit fever. Yeah, it's just right there. All right, guys. It's just now 11:10. So that took us 3 hours and 25 minutes to get up here to the summit of North Diamond Peak. Nice. And we've done it. We're up on the summit. Heck yes. Nice job. And these are the views from North Diamond Peak. And this is the tallest Diamond Peak. We're up here at just over 11,800. Beautiful views though. Incredible. And that's looking down and over to South Diamond Peak. And that's where we're headed next. And then once we hit South Diamond Peak, we're gonna double back to the saddle and then drop it straight down to the Cameron Pass parking area, which is right there. And then we're gonna have to walk the street all the way back to the Zimmerman Lake Trailhead. It's about 1.5 miles. Hey, do you know what time it is? It's tea time. up here on North Diamond Peak. And let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. All right, it is just now about 11:50, and we've been sitting up here on the summit of North Diamond Peak for about 40 minutes or so. However, we still have one more summit left on the agenda, so it's about time to start heading on over there. All right, let's do it. Let's take it over to the South Diamond Peak. And this wind just started whipping out of nowhere. And I don't know if I'd attempt these peaks in the winter when there's snow out here, because this area right here below the saddle is prone to have avalanches. And there was actually somebody that died out here a few years ago. From here until we make it out to South Diamond Peak, this whole stretch of the hike is really scenic, really photogenic. Yeah, it's hard not to just continually record as I go across this part. We're coming across the saddle and we're getting ready to launch it up to the top of South Diamond Peak.
It's the last day of nice weather for the year. These mountains will soon be covered with snow, I fear. So my mom and I are gonna wake up early, grab our gear and hit the road so we can enjoy every moment we can. After driving through the dark, we arrived at the spot. Ruby drone is back and got the morning shots. We soon hit the trail, our hands frozen and numb. But as soon as that sun hit us, that cold was done. After an hour and a half, we topped out on Montgomery Pass. But that was just the start, the test we must pass. We started up the ridge, taking it up and down. We soon came face to face with the mountain. The final slope we must endure so we can get to the summit and eat our cinnamon chip churro strips. 'Cause nothing is better than sitting on the highest diamond peak. Yeah, yeah, sitting on the highest diamond peak.
And this is my favorite part of the traverse, cutting it through these rocks up here. This is totally epic. And the only bad thing about this hike is that you're hiking directly into the sun on this part, so it's hard to get good camera footage. All right, and in just under 45 minutes from leaving the North Diamond Peak Summit, we've made it over here to the South Diamond Peak Summit. Nice job, South Diamond Peak Summit. Boom.
Woo!
And there it is, the summit cairn for South Diamond Peak. And then way down here is going to be the Cameron Pass parking area. And that's way down there. As I pan over to the left, and that's going to be Lulu, Thunder, and Iron Mountain. All right, guys, it's 12:30, and we've been standing up here on the summit of South Diamond Peak for only about 5 minutes, but the wind is whipping, so it is time to go. It's time to head on back. All right, let's do it. Let's take it on back. And we've got one tiny little up and over, and other than that, the rest of this hike is all downhill. We just hit the saddle back there, and now we're dropping it down. And this is pretty steep. We're just working it down, looking to connect with the little social trail down here. It's like we're coming down a sheer wall right here, like straight down. All right, we've come down the real steep part, and we're getting ready to connect with the little social trail down here. And we've come down some of the steepest parts. We're floating along the trail, and we're just looking for the spot to cut it through the trees. And it is a little tricky. You want to make sure you hike past the water because the trail is on the south side of the water. Yeah, if you just start going down through the trees right here, you're going to have a bad time. And that's going to be the water right off to my left. And this is where you want to go down and pick up the trail in the trees. It is slightly difficult, but once you're on it, you're good to go. And the rest of this is pretty straightforward. And it's also straight down. We've got quite a big drop to get back down to the Cameron Pass parking area. All right, guys, and we've made it back down to the Cameron Pass parking area. It is just now 1:30, so that took us 45 minutes to drop it down from the South Diamond Peak Summit, which is really fast, considering that that's a 1,500-foot drop. And now for the fun part, we get to hike it 1.5 miles down 14 highway, back down to the Zimmerman Lake Trailhead, back to where I'm parked. And we have just come down from way up there, South Diamond Peak. Yeah, this isn't the most exciting part of the hike, but unfortunately, it has to be done to complete the loop. Almost back. I can see my car out there in front of us, and that's probably a 1/4 mile away. Oh, I just can't wait to sit down. I don't think either of us have really sat down since we left the summit of North Diamond Peak, and that was a while ago. All right, guys, and we're back. Zimmerman Lake Trailhead and parking area. And it is just now 2 o'clock, so that only took us 1 hour and 15 minutes to make it back down here from the summit of South Diamond Peak, which is pretty fast. Well, we hope you enjoyed that hike, and until the next one, y'all, peace.